special day here at Inside Music. I'm with someone I'm a big fan of, the incredibly talented Amanda Jones. This is so great to be sitting here with you.
Yes, this is amazing. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, congrats on everything.
Thank you.
And first, I'm going to start by just because I'm sitting here looking at you. You always seem to be smiling. You always seem to be kind of like glowing and happy.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You have that enthusiasm.
Yes.
Just wonder where that comes from and how that translates into what you do as an artist.
Where does it come from? I'm just so grateful. Every morning I start my day with gratitude. I'm just grateful for my health, this, my love bubble, my family and my work, and I have a very deep relationship with God. I never really mentioned that a lot online, but that's just like a big part of my, just stronghold within myself. But yeah, gratitude is everything, and it just changes how you feel about things.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm sure that affects family and your art
Yes.
and your artistry and everything you do day to day.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I first got turned on to what you do with your band.
Yes.
With the Anti-Job.
Anti-Job.
Yeah. Probably going on like 8 years ago, maybe.
Yes, exactly.
And like probably I wasn't the only one. I was listening to KCRW one night.
Oh my gosh.
And Henry Rollins.
Yes. Big super fan, like such a supporter.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I met him a few times, and he was just like, "When's the next album coming out? When's the next thing?" And I was like, "It's coming." That's
so cool. And I listened. I was driving. I still remember the moment I was driving at night, not far from my house. I was thinking, this sounds so cool.
Oh my goodness.
And I loved your voice, and the band sounded so neat, and I was like immediately a fan.
Wow.
So I started looking up what you were doing, and I got a CD or two, and and then we connected, and I've been a fan of your work ever since.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much.
If you can go back to that period, around then, and talk about what was going on with the band, and how that kind of transitioned and paused slightly and led to everything where you're at.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So I think at that time we were having a lot of movement, and I think around like 2016-ish, we had just come back on tour with like Deerhoof, and we did a thing with Of Montreal. There was like a festival in Tucson, I think, and we had previously, there was another band, KO Dot, that we were just like being able to be opening support for like some really fun avant-garde bands that I just absolutely adore.
Yeah.
And so a lot of things were happening. But at the same time, I was like, I wanted to incorporate something else into my musical world and practice. And so I decided to kind of dive into film scoring, not knowing it would like completely consume my life. And I actually really look forward to getting back to performing live and doing more of the band stuff. So the evolution was like band stuff, and just a very big period of just like educating myself and growing in the film scoring world. So working with Hans Zimmer, Henry Jackman, like just pouring myself into that space, those worlds. Yeah. Getting hired at John Powell's studio, and then just diving, head first even further into the whole film and TV world. So then going into the corporate space, working at Lionsgate, like skipping over to Netflix for a bit and just seeing just the nuts and bolts of it all.
Yeah.
And then coming out of that period from 2016 to 2018 with like an agent and a manager and like a brand new paradigm and way of thinking about music as a business, and just kind of going, full steam ahead in the composing route. And then my goal was to continue to like loop back around and like do more band stuff and have this like a great balance of just doing touring and scoring gigs. And so I was like, let me just develop the scoring part of my world, and it just kind of exploded. It was just,
to say the least.
Yeah. So the type of music that I would write with my band was always like a little bit long form. I would have like 7-minute songs or 6-minute songs, and it would just lend itself to just being more cinematic and filmic, and so it kind of just works in that space. So. And
you mentioned Hans Zimmer and stuff like that. And you're being humble, but to be able to work with him, not everyone can just come off the street.
I know, that's true.
So you had obviously a lot of talent at that point.
Yes,
already.
It was like an internship, and people know about this internship. And it's you do 5 weeks with Hans Zimmer, 5 weeks with Henry Jackman.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like a rat race of sorts between the other interns, but it's like a beautiful collaborative ecosystem at the same time. I met a lot of incredible folks there at Remote Control who I have like on my team now.
That's so cool.
There was a composer there, Jason Suda, who's now like my go-to mastering guy.
Great.
Which is super cool. So that was an extraordinary experience. And yeah, so fast forward now, like all that stuff was just essential, formative, year building stuff to just understand how it works now.
Yeah,
you know,
but even to get to that point, you were playing music as a
yes.
young kid.
Yes, exactly.
So where did that start in terms of the support you had from your family, your own personal desire? Not everyone has the wherewithal to continue that, to practice, to be into it.
Yes, I started playing piano when I was 3. Clarinet 10, and then guitar around 15.
Yeah.
And then guitar was just like, this is my chosen instrument. And yeah, I just in college, you know, classical guitar was my instrument, and then that's where I met my bandmate Martine, and we formed the Anti-Job there. And then once we moved to LA, we brought in a drummer, Lee Harcourt, who is now my husband.
Yeah, worked out.
Yeah, thank goodness. And so yeah, we were all just so passionate about music. Like Martine has like a kind of like folk, you know, like psych folk like obsession, and I'm like kind of like psychedelic rock, like classic rock obsession. And Lee has, our drummer, has like a very strong jazz and metal like obsession. Yeah. So like our swirling influences like created this really eclectic sound that's just really fun live and on the album. And we have this EP that we've recorded and it's unreleased and it needs to come out, so that's something I would love to do and
very cool.
Set up a show at some point, hopefully in the near future, and just bang that out.
Yeah,
just
well,
do
you
it.
will. That's so cool.
So
yeah,
I'm excited to have some things like ready to go.
So what would you say was your big formative in terms of your first big project composing that changed things for you? If you were to put into words, which was the one?
Exactly. I would say it was 20s. Well, there's 2 that were concurrent.
Yeah.
20s was my first like yes in the entertainment industry. That was from Lena Waithe. Yeah. And she was like, yes, you can work on the pilot for my show that I've been like working on for the past 10 years, and I will give this over to you to create the sonic, you know, space for it. So that I appreciate. Thank you, Lena Waithe, for my first yes. Nice. And then like right after, like 1A was a Black Lady sketch show, Rob and Thede. So that was my first series. So
that's the thing, that first one I was conscious of you doing that kind of thing, so I started watching that.
So I had
just
this
pilot, to your music.
so I had Lena Waithe's pilot, and then a Black Lady show as a series, and then that pilot was picked up at BET, then that was my second series, and then after that it was like Apple called, and they were like, we're doing a documentary series called Home, which was massive. And then I got an Emmy nomination for that, and then for Home Season 1 and Home Season 2. We got the Emmy win.
How wonderful!
Crazy.
How wonderful! Yeah.
Since then, Ava DuVernay called, and I did her series, Cherish the Day, Naomi for the CW, and then it was just like, you know, HBO called again, and then it was I did an independent film, 7 Days, and then that brought forth, like, the producers were attached to Somebody Somewhere. So it's just like, it's really important to work on a variety of projects of all budgets, because it's just, you're working with such great people. If you line yourself with great people, like, things will continue to evolve, and you just never know how certain projects will connect you with the next one. So, you know.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you get to challenge yourself by doing completely different types of projects and different types of skills from your toolbox. You get to bring in different musicians and artists you probably get to do, and that must have been really exciting just in those few years to do so many different types of things.
Yeah, and I have like an insatiable hunger to explore different genres and bring in new musicians and artists, and I love playing in my band, and I love that paradigm, that space, and that sound. But it's like also very, very, very fun to just explore outside of that sound and just do so many different things. So it just satisfies so many different buckets of my brain. Just like wanting to just try new things. And what I may learn, I maybe bring back to the band later, you know, on another sort of, you know, universe of an album or something, you know.
How hands-on are you as you're composing in terms of picking up an instrument, in terms of showing one of your orchestra members, wait, no, do this. This is what, you know, I'm sure you're hands-on.
I'm very hands-on. I use a lot of like voice memos also. A lot of mock-ups at the piano, voice memos, some guitar stuff, but very hands-on with every aspect of it, because I care a lot about just like the quality of the way someone plays something. So, you know, just maybe being a little bit weird is like a note that I would give someone, like, you know, like, oh, I play it a certain way, or like, so for something like Somebody Somewhere, like, I'll paint a picture. It's like, you know, we've got, imagine 2 friends that are in different parts of the orchestra, but they want to warm up together. So we got trombone and we got the pianist or something, you know, and they're best friends, so they want to hang out and warm up. So what would that sound like? So it's like jauntily play this, but maybe not so expertly, perform this piece. So it's like more playful, more childish,
Yeah.
So just trying to invoke that sort of imagery when I'm like working with musicians and just trying to like paint that picture.
And that's the kind of composer I'm sure musicians gravitate to because they want to have that kind of direction and be told what to do when someone knows what they're doing.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah, like I'm happy to like paint a picture. And I think it works. And,
right. So then all this goes well for you, and you have the Emmy and everything's good, and now you're probably in demand for all kinds of things.
Yes. Yeah.
And you get to choose what you really want to do, I would think, at this point in your...
Yes. No, but yes.
But one of these is something that's really exciting right now, which is you're the composer on Murderbot.
Murderbot, yes,
which is
exactly.
a big deal.
Yeah, Murderbot is a TV series on Apple TV Plus. Season 1 is now streaming, and we're working on season 2. It stars Alexander Skarsgård and an extraordinary cast.
Yeah.
And the showrunners are Chris and Paul Weitz.
Yeah.
And I've worked with Paul previously on a feature called Moving On. That was an amazing experience, so I'm really happy to be collaborating with him again.
Yeah.
But that show is so much fun. The music is so like wild and crazy.
Yeah.
And we've got full orchestra and synths, and it's just like a fun blend of like analog synths and orchestra.
Yeah. So talk about that, just how you approached this specifically when you first knew about this project.
Yeah.
You saw a script, your conversations with the team, and what those conversations were like.
Exactly. So I read the book during COVID, just point because it's like a great series.
Yeah.
Martha Wells is the author, and she's fantastic.
Great.
And so when I saw like the article pop up that Paul and Chris Weitz were developing the show at Apple, I was like, I immediately emailed them, and I was like, I would love to be part of this. Let me know what you think. I started just writing some demos just based on just based on the book, and then they're like, wow, this is really cool. Here's the script. So then I read the script, and then I sent some more demos, and they're like, oh. And my early demos were very kind of like ethereal electronic, but still kind of like heavy, because I was like imagining like aliens, like monsters, like on planets, like subterranean monsters, like eating the crew members and stuff like that, because I know the story. So like I'm like, imagining what this could be like. And so they were like, well, maybe we don't want to anticipate what the future sounds like the sci-fi future sounds like. So let's try like a Vince Guaraldi or like a 1970s or like just fun sounds. And I started playing around with that sort of thing, or maybe even like a Fela Kuti sort of vibe too. And that was really fun.
That's a nice mix. Vince Guaraldi and Fela Kuti.
I know. I was like, this is actually really cool. But ultimately, we kind of reverted to like a more. There was something I was developing where I have the Roland Juno 60. It's a synth that I have. It's like hiding in a box right now.
Very cool. Yeah.
And it's an analog synth that is just so crazy and has a mind of its own. And you can make really cool sounds, and it just kind of like continue to feed back within itself and just like go off in crazy ways. And there's no real way to save those sounds. You have to record everything. So I was like, this is very much like the main character, Murderbot, and their trajectory. They're like a robot, but that becomes sentient and just kind of goes rogue. So I was like, I want to ascribe the synth to this robot character, and then track their humanity with organic instruments. So full-on orchestra. We also have some solo performances, solo flute, solo cello, and sangwon is a Korean instrument that I had in my music library that I'd recorded on a previous project.
So cool,
that is like this reeded instrument that can reach these really high frequencies, and I would double that with the synth and just create these crazy textures that were amazing. A lot of experimentation and playing, and just digging around to sounds that I had and wanted to further develop,
So for this one, talk about the days when you're there on the scoring stage, or what that's like for you to see this come to fruition, and you're there making the whole thing go and run. What are those days like for you? A
dream come true. We recorded 3 sessions, so we batched 10 episodes into 3 different scoring sessions. At all 3 at the Warner Brothers scoring stage, and it's like, this is a dream. Just historic, films have been scored there, and some of the musicians had worked with like John Williams on Star Wars. So it was like just an honor to record in LA on a LA scoring stage with LA musicians that have been doing this since before I was born on just iconic films. So I just felt like I was in the presence of rock stars, to be honest. And I introduced myself to every single person of this 50-person orchestra, because I was just like, so grateful you're here, and like, I'm just so in awe of your talent. Like, that was just a crazy day. I think the first day I was just thrilled to death. I like gave myself a headache. I was like, next session I'm gonna drink more water. I'm like too excited.
Yeah. But you mentioned John Williams. Who are some of the other composers that?
Yes.
I mean, you're there on this stage.
Yeah.
You've reached that level.
Yeah.
Which is kind of it.
It's the dream you hope for. You study this stuff. You learn orchestration. You learn how to write for an orchestra. But then you're doing mock-ups forever. You don't actually get to have that old school thing where you come in and like you can change things on the fly.
Right.
You know.
So cool.
So that was cool to finally experience like the Hollywood film scoring thing.
Yeah.
These guys, you know, back in the day were just in and out Fox stage, like Sony stage, like all the time for TV shows, like just films, you know. So that was really cool to do that, you know.
Yeah. And then to be able to go on stage, like I saw you do recently, and conduct this stuff live. And that's a performance in and of itself in some ways, right?
Yes, it is.
So what's that like for you as an artist then, to be up there wearing both hats, but you know, commanding the stage and your whole orchestra?
It's really extraordinary. I kind of have this new mantra lately where it's just called follow the feeling. You know, I'm just kind of like following through this like through line of the composer journey. You know, I'm so excited to get back to the end job, get back to performing live, and bring all of these things together.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just like following this like immense excited feeling of just like finding my voice with an orchestra. Because I love composers that have their own voice with like the same number of strings, same number of brass, you know, like John Williams versus Ennio Morricone, like they have similar amount of players and they have their own flair to things, but they have very distinct sounds. I'm on that quest to find my sound, like my cinematic sound.
That's so great.
With an orchestra and just be very like truly unique with it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to figure that out and just I'm just experiencing life right now as an artist, and I'm excited to just bring all of that together and something really beautiful for myself.
No, I love that. I love that. I've talked to other composers that have a more tortuous experience, I think, composing things than you do, and they describe the experience in a different way where it seems almost hellish. Like, why are you doing this? You don't seem to have any of that.
I do. I'm so blessed and so grateful to have such amazing collaborators. Like, it's been a gift working on like all these projects. Like Ava is a strong leader and just knows what she wants, and she's extraordinary, and she gives space to all the talent on her team and crew to let them shine artistically. And I would say the same for Paul and Chris Weitz, like Robin Thede. Like, I've just been blessed with just amazing collaborators. Same with all the Apple team is just amazing. So
I think it's smart on their part, smart on your part. You guys know what gels and who to work with.
Yes, exactly. So, and really I think that's just the way it is. Like, I don't try to force things. I'm definitely very, you know, persistent and just the classic sort of like, you know, Hollywood hustle energy or whatever.
Sure.
But you definitely just gravitate towards energy, as like cliche as that is. But,
well, you wouldn't be where you are if there wasn't drive and there wasn't that
exactly
hustle to make things happen for yourself.
Adventure Time's another one. Adam
I
Muno,
was
my
about to
gosh,
ask you about
another collaborator who's just like, let's just try this. And there was one time where he emailed me. He was like, you know, I watched this video where people like plug in wires into mushrooms and they make these weird noises. Can we try it? Sounds like that? And I'm like, yes,
so
please.
Much fun.
I like love just the spirit of experimentation and just trying weird, fun stuff. And
being in that headspace, the Adventure Time headspace for I don't know how many weeks or something. That must have been a kick.
Yeah, it was amazing, and it's very stream of conscious. And because it's like a multiverse, you could just be very stream of conscious, and there are some thematic elements to come back to with certain characters, but you can be a little bit more loose with that.
You get to really expand on that in special ways. Your vampire, which was the one you did?
Marceline.
Yeah, and you have one literally a track that's vampire thing or vampire or something.
Yes, there's Vampire World.
So much fun.
There's it's like a breakbeat almost.
Yeah,
right. Of that one.
I was just blasting it last night.
Oh my gosh, that was fun. It's like definitely like Prodigy vibes.
Yeah, it just kind of takes off. Yeah.
That's a kick. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been so great, and also Supernatural.
Yeah.
It's a natural history series I did for Disney Plus.
Right.
Nat Geo, and that was another one where they were like, our brief is like left of center. So I'm glad I'm the left of center composer that people can call if they want something weird, and something interesting. Like, I'm happy to, you know, be that person.
And how cool, and that could also lead to more acknowledgement and things like awards.
Yes, I know. Right?
So how excited are you about what Murderbot can bring you?
Oh my goodness.
The rest of the year.
You know, I'm just excited to do more scoring sessions. I'm excited to play more with a variety of synths, and it's just great to be acknowledged for just for the act of experimentation and being an artist. I feel like in this world, I think people forget that it's just important to be who you are. I don't know. It's scary to be yourself, you know, but it's just nice to know that there's a community that wants it. And I think people truly want something fresh and exciting and interesting, and people should, you know, give listeners, viewers more credit for wanting that, you know, and just being open to the weird, fun stuff. So.
Yeah. So when you envision in your mind's eye that future of the weird, fun stuff, like what images pop into your head in terms of the kind of projects and things you're going to be doing?
Yeah.
Like, because it's developing your sound, you must have all kinds of creative things floating around.
I really do. So, like, in terms of getting back to the stage, I'm excited to, like, have a very immersive, surreal, like, visual component to my band. Like, I'm excited to really build that out and make it, like, this magical, mystical world that you can enter into.
Yeah.
Or if your eyes are closed, like, you know, that you can really feel inside yourself. So there's that, and then, you know, composing, I think I'm following these different projects, and just whenever I have a project, I always pitch something new just to push myself more musically. But again, I'm just kind of like, you know, just accruing all this experience and just like thinking about a lot of things. I spend a lot of time thinking, you know, just taking walks and just thinking about music and making notes to myself, and I'm always thinking about sounds and textures. So I don't know, I'm excited to, I think that is like the next echelon eventually. It's like getting back to the live performance space, like really blossoming in a way that is like showing all the experience I've like, you know, kind of accrued in like the scoring space, but with strings, arranging for strings, I might bring that into the live space now.
So neat.
Yeah, so I just want to try a lot of different things.
Well, I'll be right up front in the center. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I'm just like, I'm excited.
Take your time. Do your thing.
Yeah, it's like one of those things I'm really thinking about. I don't want to think about it too long though.
Right.
But I'm ready for the live experience.
Yeah. And where are you now? You're probably always busy with something. So what are you working on?
So right now I'm just finishing a new film. It's called My New Friend Jim.
Okay.
It's directed by Ash Avildsen.
Okay, cool.
And it's starring Keith David and Rob Lowe.
Nice.
And it's like a buddy comedy adventure sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I won't give away too much, but it's extraordinary. It's so much fun.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
And he has a cool little music empire himself as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a record label owner.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a really cool dude.
That's awesome.
He knows music, he knows what he wants.
Yeah.
It's been a joy to work with.
Oh, great. We're looking forward to that. And I just can't wait to see you on stage again. Yes. I love your literal voice, not just your I love hearing you sing, so that's something. But no rush.
Yes,
keep doing
very soon.
Keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing something right. And
thanks.
It's all working.
You too.
Yeah. Congrats on everything.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, real pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.